This holiday season might be the most expensive one you've ever faced. New supply data shows that 6 popular holiday foods are about to see price jumps of up to 50%, and it's already starting in some states. From meat shortages to import delays, these aren't luxury items. These are the dishes and ingredients most families count on for their celebrations. If you don't plan ahead now, you could be staring at empty shelves, eye-watering price tags, or both. Let's break down the 6 items set to skyrocket before your next grocery trip. If you want to stay ahead of these price hikes and shortages, make sure you hit subscribe now, that way you'll know what's disappearing before it's gone. Number 1, eggs. If there's one holiday essential you think will always be cheap, it's eggs. But heading into the 2025 holiday season, that assumption could cost you dearly. Egg prices, already creeping up in the first half of the year, are now poised to skyrocket thanks to a perfect storm of supply issues, disease outbreaks, and higher feed costs. And unlike luxury ingredients that only a few households buy, eggs are the foundation of nearly every festive recipe, from breakfast casseroles to cookies, pies, and even cocktails like eggnog. That means when prices go up, they hit everyone and they hit hard. While some price hikes get blamed on inflation in general, the egg market has a specific culprit: lingering effects of avian flu outbreaks in key poultry-producing states. Millions of laying hens were culled earlier this year, and producers are still struggling to rebuild flocks. On top of that, global grain prices, especially corn and soy used in chicken feed, have jumped due to poor harvests in South America and ongoing trade tensions. These costs are passed directly to the consumer, making eggs one of the fastest-moving price targets this season. Every year, demand for eggs spikes from late October through December. Bakers buy in bulk. Restaurants boost orders for holiday menus. Grocery shoppers add extra dozens, just in case. That annual surge is already baked into the market, but this year, it's colliding with reduced supply. The result? Some analysts predict a 25–50% jump in retail prices by mid-December, with certain regions seeing shortages entirely. Here's what most people don't realize. Eggs are more than a standalone breakfast food. They're an invisible binding agent in holiday favorites: meatloaf, stuffing, cakes, custards, and even bread. Remove them from the equation, and recipes fall apart. In a crisis, the ability to make protein-packed, filling meals from eggs is a survival skill in itself. That's why they're not just a grocery item, they're a form of food security. Right now, in August, prices are still relatively stable in many areas. This is the window to act. Eggs can be preserved long beyond their carton date with simple, low-cost methods. Water glassing. Storing unwashed eggs in a lime. Water solution for up to a year. Freezing. Beaten eggs can be frozen in ice cube trays for portion control. Powdering. Dehydrated eggs, while an extra step, store for months in airtight containers. If you grab eggs now and preserve them, you can skip the holiday sticker shock and keep your holiday recipes intact. History proves it. In 2020's panic buying wave, eggs were among the first items to disappear. They're cheap, versatile, and universally used. Once they're gone, the replacement's egg substitutes, liquid cartons disappear within hours. Bottom line, this isn't just about baking cookies. It's about protecting your table, your budget, and your family's holiday traditions. Act now, and you'll be one of the few who doesn't feel the sting when prices explode. Number 2, butter. Butter is the quiet cornerstone of nearly every holiday dish. From flaky pie crusts and creamy mashed potatoes to frosting, cookies, and roasted vegetables, this golden block of flavor is the ingredient that quietly makes everything taste better. But as we head into the 2025 holiday season, butter prices are already creeping toward record highs, and experts warn they could spike dramatically before December. At first glance, butter should be stable, it's made domestically, and doesn't rely heavily on imports. But in 2025, multiple pressure points have converged. Dairy farmers across the U.S. are grappling with reduced milk yields due to feed shortages and extreme heat waves that stressed herds this summer. Add in higher transportation costs, labor shortages at processing plants, and strong global demand for U.S. butter exports, and you have the perfect setup for holiday sticker shock. This year's twist? More buyers are stocking up early after seeing last year's price jumps. That panic buying ripple effect is already visible in wholesale markets, where bulk butter prices in August are up over 18% compared to this time in 2024. If that pace holds, retail shoppers could see 40–50% higher prices on store shelves by Christmas. Butter isn't just another grocery item, it's the flavor foundation of holiday cooking. You can't make authentic mashed potatoes, rich gravies, or classic sugar cookies without it. Even recipes that don't list butter prominently often depend on it for texture, moisture, or flavor depth. That means when butter prices soar, you feel it across dozens of dishes, not just one. Restaurants and bakeries are also heavy butter buyers, and they compete directly with households for the same supply. When demand spikes and inventories thin, prices climb fast. The best time to secure butter for the holidays isn't November, it's right now in August. Grocery chains often run back-to-school promotions that include dairy staples, and those sales won't return once the holiday rush begins. If you have freezer space, butter can be safely stored for up to a year without losing quality. Just wrap blocks tightly in foil or freezer paper, then place them in a sealed bag to prevent freezer burn. While nothing truly matches real butter's flavor, certain substitutes can save your recipes if shortages hit. Ghee, clarified butter with a long shelf life. Coconut oil, works in baking for certain recipes. Margarine, less expensive but shorter shelf life, choose varieties without hydrogenated oils. Keeping a small stock of these options ensures you're not stuck scrambling when stores run out. During the 2020 supply crunch, butter was among the first baking essentials to vanish after flour and sugar. The pattern is repeating. Versatile, high demand, and central to holiday traditions. It's an easy target for price spikes and panic buying. Bottom line, if butter's on your holiday menu, and let's face it, it is waiting until late November could mean paying double or walking away empty-handed. Stock up now, store it right, and you'll lock in both flavor and savings before the holiday chaos begins. Number 3, beef and veal. If you've been anywhere near the butcher's counter this summer, you've probably noticed prices for beef and veal creeping upward week by week. And according to industry analysts, that creep is about to turn into a leap. By the holiday season, certain cuts could cost 20–40% more than they do today, and some might not even make it to your store shelves. The reasons are layered, and they're hitting the supply chain all at once. Cattle feed costs have skyrocketed this year thanks to prolonged drought conditions in key grain-producing states. Corn and soy, both essential for livestock feed, are at their highest prices in nearly a decade. Add in rising fuel costs for transport, and you have a perfect storm that makes raising and delivering beef and veal far more expensive. Slaughterhouse operations are also feeling the pinch from ongoing labor shortages, meaning slower processing times and less overall product hitting the market. For veal, which comes from younger cattle, the problem is even worse. Farmers facing higher costs are simply raising fewer calves for veal production, tightening supply even further. Late summer is often a lull period before the big holiday push, when retailers quietly mark down meat to move inventory. By September, however, demand for premium roasts, steaks, and specialty veal cuts starts climbing. If you wait until the holidays, you're competing with every other shopper and paying a premium for it. Buying in August and freezing now means you can lock in lower prices and avoid the sticker shock that's coming. Well-packaged beef can last 8–12 months in a freezer without losing quality, and veal can last nearly as long. From weeknight ground beef tacos to slow-cooked pot roasts, beef's versatility makes it a staple worth protecting from price hikes. Veal, while often overlooked, brings a delicate flavor and tenderness perfect for dishes like veal parmesan, scallopini, or osso buco. In a high-cost environment, having these cuts already on hand allows you to enjoy meals that might soon feel like luxuries. If you're freezing beef or veal, remove store packaging and rewrap tightly in freezer paper or vacuum-sealed bags. This prevents freezer burn and keeps the meat tender. Label each package with the date and cut type so you can rotate efficiently. For ground beef, divide into meal-sized portions before freezing to make weeknight cooking easier. The risk of waiting too long. When beef and veal prices rise sharply, restaurants and wholesalers often buy up large quantities to hedge their own costs. This rush can clear retail shelves quickly, especially for higher-end cuts. In past shortages, ribeye, tenderloin, and veal cutlets were among the first to disappear entirely from major chains, sometimes for months. Bottom line, beef and veal aren't just dinner options, they're investments in future meals that could save you a small fortune by year's end. August 2025 offers one of the last windows to buy before a likely holiday price spike. If you've got freezer space, fill it now. In just a few months, you might be looking at the same steak with a price tag that makes you put it right back down. Number 4. Coffee. For millions of Americans, coffee isn't just a drink, it's a daily ritual, a small comfort that kickstarts the day. But come this holiday season, that comfort could come with an unexpectedly steep price tag. Industry insiders are warning that coffee prices, especially for premium and seasonal holiday blends, are set to spike sharply before the end of 2025. And the signs are already here in August. This month is the calm before the storm. Retailers are starting to introduce early fall flavors, and warehouses are clearing out older stock to make room for the big holiday marketing push. That means discounts are available now, but by late October, the same shelves could be stocked with smaller bags at higher prices. Coffee's global supply chain is extremely sensitive to climate disruptions, and this year's crop yields in Brazil, Vietnam, and Colombia have already been hit by heat waves, excessive rainfall, and fungus outbreaks. Lower supply plus rising demand during the holiday season is a recipe for rapid price hikes. If you've ever waited for that one special winter roast peppermint mocha, gingerbread, or cinnamon spice, you know they vanish fast. These blends are produced in limited runs, often using higher-grade beans and additional flavoring ingredients. When supply is tight, companies prioritize their core year-round products, leaving seasonal blends in even shorter supply. Once they're gone, they're gone. The green coffee beans that eventually end up in your cup have to be shipped, roasted, packaged, and distributed. Each of those steps now costs more. Ocean freight rates are still elevated, packaging material prices have risen, and labor shortages at roasting facilities mean slower output. For imported beans, the 2025 tariffs are adding a final blow, particularly on specialty-grade beans used in holiday blends. Ground coffee, whole beans, and even flavored seasonal varieties can be stored for months if kept airtight, away from light and moisture. Whole beans hold their flavor longest, up to a year, and freezing them in airtight bags can extend that even further. By buying now, you're not only locking in lower prices, but also ensuring you can enjoy your favorite holiday flavors long after store shelves switch to spring promotions. In a pinch, coffee grounds can be used for more than just brewing. They can act as a natural deodorizer in refrigerators, a plant fertilizer, or even an abrasive scrub for cleaning pots and pans. Having extra on hand means you're also stocked with a versatile household item, not just a beverage. Historically, coffee prices spike in Q4, especially when bad harvest news aligns with increased seasonal demand. During the 2021 supply crunch, some premium holiday blends jumped 60% in price within 8 weeks. Shoppers who hesitated found shelves empty or were forced to buy lower-quality alternatives. If coffee is part of your daily life, or if you wait all year for those special holiday flavors, August 2025 might be your best shot at buying before the wave hits. Stock up now, store it smartly, and you'll sip through the holidays without feeling the sting of inflated prices. Number 5. Imported produce. Avocados, tomatoes, peppers. For many households, a grocery trip isn't complete without fresh avocados, juicy tomatoes, and vibrant peppers. Whether you're slicing avocado for toast, making fresh salsa, or adding peppers to your holiday dishes, these staples have become part of the American diet. But as we move into late 2025, these imported favorites are facing a perfect storm of rising costs and tightening supply, making August the month to stock up, preserve, and plan ahead. Much of the avocados, tomatoes, and peppers in U.S. grocery stores are imported from Mexico, Central America, and South America. The combination of new tariffs on imported produce, fuel price increases, and climate-driven crop losses is already putting upward pressure on wholesale prices. In some markets, avocado prices have jumped 15% in just the last month, with peppers not far behind. Tomatoes, especially the vine-ripened varieties, are facing reduced harvests due to drought conditions in major growing regions. By late fall, holiday demand for fresh ingredients will collide with shrinking imports, meaning higher prices and more frequent out-of-stock signs. If you enjoy fresh guacamole, stuffed peppers, or tomato-based sauces, the cost shock might hit you sooner than you expect. The 2025 tariff wave has made importing fresh produce far more expensive for distributors. While some of that cost gets absorbed in the supply chain, Much of it is being passed straight to shoppers. Avocados, already a premium-priced fruit due to labor-intensive harvesting, are especially vulnerable. Tariffs on peppers and tomatoes, staples in countless American kitchens, are compounding the problem, creating an across-the-board spike in produce costs. Imported produce travels hundreds or even thousands of miles before reaching your store. Increased port inspection delays, trucking bottlenecks, and higher refrigeration costs are shortening the time you have to enjoy them at peak freshness. In some cases, produce is hitting shelves with just a few days left before quality declines, which forces shoppers to buy smaller quantities at higher prices. While you can't stockpile fresh avocados, tomatoes, or peppers the same way you might store rice or pasta, you can take advantage of current prices by buying in bulk and preserving them yourself. Avocados can be mashed with lemon juice and frozen. Number 6. Seafood. For many families, holiday celebrations aren't complete without at least one luxurious seafood dish. Seared scallops, buttery halibut, or fresh ahi tuna can turn a meal into a centerpiece event. But in 2025, these premium catches are becoming harder to find and far more expensive. If you've been planning a holiday menu that includes seafood, this is the year to buy early, because by November and December, your local store's seafood counter could look shockingly bare. Several forces are converging to make scallops and specialty fish some of the fastest rising holiday food items. First, global fuel prices remain high, and that directly impacts fishing fleets. Every extra hour at sea now costs more, pushing up the wholesale price of the catch. Second, climate shifts are altering migration patterns. Species like halibut and tuna are moving further from traditional fishing grounds, making them more expensive to reach. For scallops, stricter harvesting quotas aimed at preventing overfishing are reducing supply just as seasonal demand ramps up. Much of America's specialty seafood is imported, particularly from Canada, Europe, and Asia. With tariffs and stricter inspections now in place for 2025, these imports face longer delays and higher costs before they ever reach U.S. shelves. That means fewer fresh shipments, smaller selection, and shorter shelf life once the seafood finally arrives. In some regions, seafood distributors are warning that holiday orders could be cut by as much as 30% compared to last year. Scallops are especially sensitive to price swings because they're labor-intensive to harvest and process. They can't be mass-farmed in the same way shrimp can, and their harvesting season is heavily regulated. The result? Prices that were already high in early 2025 have climbed another 20% in some markets just in the past few months. For restaurants, that means smaller portions at higher menu prices, and for home cooks, it means buying now or potentially paying double later. High-end fish like halibut, swordfish, and ahi tuna used to be reserved for fancy restaurants, but over the past decade, more Americans have embraced cooking them at home. That popularity is part of why shortages will sting so much. Demand isn't just coming from fine dining anymore, it's coming from everyday kitchens. When supply tightens, stores will prioritize high-volume buyers, leaving smaller grocers and their customers scrambling. Seafood freezes exceptionally well if prepared correctly. Vacuum-sealed scallops or fillets can last months without losing quality, meaning you can buy in August or September and serve them in December without a hint of compromise. By locking in your purchase now, you avoid the price surges that almost always hit in the final holiday weeks. If you decide to buy early, make sure to store your seafood properly. Freeze scallops on a baking sheet before transferring to airtight bags, and for fish, use freezer paper or vacuum sealing to prevent freezer burn. Label everything with the purchase date so you know exactly what to use first. Bottom line, scallops and specialty fish have always been a holiday splurge, but in 2025, they're moving into buy it now or miss out territory. Between higher fuel costs, stricter quotas, and global trade bottlenecks, the seafood you see today might not be there tomorrow, and if it is, it could be priced out of reach. If you want that perfect seafood centerpiece on your holiday table, this is the season to act early, store it right, and secure your celebration before the ocean's bounty becomes a holiday memory. As we've just seen, the foods you've always counted on to make your holidays special are already under pressure, and by the time the season hits full swing, some of them may be completely out of reach. This isn't just about prices, it's about availability. Every year, millions of people wait too long, assuming their favorites will still be on the shelf. And every year, the same story repeats: empty coolers, out-of-stock signs, and last-minute substitutions that turn a celebration into a compromise. But here's the truth. You can stay ahead of the shortages. You can enjoy your traditions without paying double or settling for less. The window to act is open right now, but it's closing fast. If you want to keep getting real-time updates like these before the headlines break, before your store shelves empty, make sure you subscribe right now and turn on all notifications. This channel is here to give you the information that others will wish they had weeks from now. Don't wait until you're staring at an empty shelf. Join our community today, prepare smarter than everyone else, and make sure that when prices spike and supply vanishes, your kitchen and your holiday table are already ready.